Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Cucchaira, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Cucchaira.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. Just a reminder for those that may just be tuning in, you can listen to the show a couple different ways. One is on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. You could also listen to us live online if you go to KDOW.biz anytime during the show from 3 to 4. If you go to KDOW.biz, there's a big old button there on the website that says Listen Live. You click on that, listen to the show live. However, we would love to have you download the app and follow us via podcast, because we realize a lot of people don't have the luxury of listening between 3 and 4, although it should be a priority. But we have... that's the beauty of technology. So we have a podcast. If you go to reradiolive.com, it's our website, again, reradiolive.com. You could download the podcast, follow the show, listen to it at your convenience. We're a live show. We love your comments and feedback. If you have any questions for me or my guests, there's two ways to communicate with us. One is the toll-free number, 1-800-516-1220, if you'd like to give us a call. Or for those that want to text, 408-838-9060 if you'd like to text any questions during the show. Well, let me invite my guest in, Rosie Poliquin, who has been with us several times during the course of the year. We have her in every once in a while to give us an update on real estate, and also she's a specialist county, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And also Catrina Palmer, who is an interior design. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. It's great
Hello.
to be here.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back. We're going to talk about some real estate stuff today, which is just a coincidence since it's a real estate show. And but always good to have Rosie. She gives us an update on South County. We forget that it is a whole new world down there, really. A lot of growth, a lot of opportunity, a lot of things going on down there. So it's always good to get an update on that. So before we get started, ladies, if you could each of us give our listeners a little bit of your background and then currently what you're up to now, would be great.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm Rosie Poliquin, and I'm a broker associate at Intero Real Estate Services. And I've been selling real estate for the past 11 years, and what I really enjoy most is helping my clients finding solutions, and that's kind of what today's show is going to be about, is finding solutions for customers who need it, clients who need it.
Very good. Catrina?
Hi, my name is Catrina Palmer, and I'm an interior designer here in San Jose, a recent graduate from West Valley College, and I'm working on getting my business underway. And I've recently, through Rosie, discovered that people really have a great need for professional home staging, and I can use a lot of my expertise with space planning and design to make that happen for them. And I'm also really passionate about people in general, so I want to put myself out there and help people to sell their homes faster and at a better price.
Well, it's most of us know, and you guys certainly do, Rosie, you do in the business, that it's extremely important. We're going to talk about staging alternatives and things as well, but these go hand in hand, right? I mean, there's so much to staging, and let's also be honest, it's staging the right way. Because you could stage a home. Anybody could stage a home. Actually, you could stage your own home.
You can.
Might not be the right idea or the best idea. So the idea is, again, to bring in a team or bring an expert, someone like Catrina, that could help with that area of expertise, because it does make a big difference when selling a home.
Absolutely, yeah. And getting the right price is key, and staging is the way to do that.
Yeah, well, let's first give us a little update on the market, because we're going to jump into the staging part and talk a little bit, because there's so much to get into that. But first, maybe you could give us a little update on how things are going in the market, your perspective, and you got a nice home here listed in San Jose. Want to give us a little update about as well, right?
Absolutely. Well, what I've seen over the last, I think since the end of August, pretty much the start of the school year, open house traffic has really slowed down a bit. For a while there, we were getting just a few people at open houses versus over the summer we're getting a lot more people, and we're rarely seeing any cash buyers now. Most buyers that are coming in are contingent.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're contingent. They have a home to sell before they can buy the one that they like. So it's kind of going on and on with the chain of contingent buyer. But that seems to be the standard right now. And then I have an adorable little condo in San Jose that is for sale. And speaking of traffic, last weekend we had about 20, 30 visitors to this open house. Yeah, it's doing extremely well. We're getting a lot of attention, and staging really played a role in getting the traffic in there, getting the eyes on the videos and people to see it and want to come make an offer.
Very good. So the market in general, I'm not only hearing it, but I see it every day with the financing part too. It is interesting how homes are sitting a little bit longer. Offers, you're not seeing, the multiple crazy bid-up offers. You're actually seeing, you just explained it, you're seeing situations where people really have the luxury now. It's kind of funny to hear that as a luxury, because the last couple of years have been crazy. But to be out looking for a home and get ready to have their home put on the market as well. You really didn't have that luxury a couple of years ago leading up to. Just recently, the last 5 or 6 months, this has really changed, hasn't it? That's
right. And I think a lot of sellers have to be a little more flexible with buyers coming in that are contingent, because they can't get everything that they want exactly the way they want it. When you have a contingent buyer, you have to be a little bit flexible. But still, as long as it shows well and it looks great, you'll still get top dollar for it. Yeah.
And that is, to me, for you guys, too, that deal with it every day, a bit of a psychological challenge sometimes with the sellers, right? Because the last couple of years, the sellers are king.
Right.
The minute they put their house on the market, it's boom, boom, boom. They got everything. And now you have to make some adjustments. So you have to let these, I guess that's just part of the educational process of your business, right?
Constantly educating the seller and even the buyer as well. It's a lot of back and forth. But eventually, and the goal is to really put the two parties together to come to an agreement of, making the deal happen. So
very good. All right. Well, let's talk. Today's topic is going to be home staging alternatives. We chat a little bit as we get going. We have a couple more minutes in this segment, but we have plenty of time here. We're going to talk about that. Maybe for those, the best part about radio, ladies, is that you try to do the best job of telling a picture, painting a picture, with radio, and so maybe I like to say if you could give the listeners kind of an overview of what staging, what it's about and why it's important. I just like to, it's not always a good idea to assume that everybody knows everything about staging and why it's so important. So maybe if you could give us, one of you guys could just say, talk a little bit about staging and why it has become so important for the real estate market.
Definitely. Well, according to stagehomes.com, their leading staging company in the country, home staging is professionally preparing homes for sale so that they appeal to the most amount of buyers and generate the highest price in the least amount of time on the market. Yeah. And really what we're trying to do is make the home attractive visually so that people will want to see it, because the first thing that buyers see are online pictures. Right. So what they see and they're attracted to it, they want to come to visit the house. And then as the home is staged and furniture is placed in the proper placement, they can walk through and get the feel of the home and the lifestyle of the home and then want to buy the home. Got it.
So really important that way. I know that the other idea is that when someone walks into a home, they could, if you're good at staging, Catrina, you know this, setting it up so that there's a lot to the feng shui. There's a lot to, when you come into a house, how it feels, how it flows. There's so much to it. I think for most of us that don't have the talent like you have, we appreciate it. Because I don't have that talent, but when I walk into a home that's been staged properly it's just like, wow, this is nice.
Right.
You get a good feeling versus walking to a home that's not. And it's not that you go, oh, my God, I wouldn't buy this home, but it's a different feel, isn't it?
Definitely. When furniture is placed properly, you have maximum use of the space, and people really understand how they can see themselves living in that space. Right. And so a lot of people, when they're living in their homes, they make it work for their lives and their families, and sometimes that works great for them. Sometimes they don't even realize how it wasn't working for them until you come in and stage the house. And then even if you're just using their furniture and moving the placement of it, they can really see how the maximum benefit of changing things around a bit. And then also it's making things attractive, and you want to sell your home for top dollar, so you want it to look luxurious to people. So bringing in quality fabrics, different textures, layering with decor and artwork, also with materials and fabrics to make it really feel cozy and comfortable, and like somebody could really see themselves being there.
So it might be, what I'm hearing, it might be a really extensive job, or it might be adding accessories or changing certain things, right? It just depends. It's kind of customized to each individual property. There's different levels of service for sure. We can use people's furniture, and I've staged where I have my own inventory as well, and I'll just bring in the accessories and pictures, and kind of work off of what the homeowner already has. Sometimes they already have amazing furniture, so it works perfectly. And then other times, you need to, if the house is vacant especially, you need to bring in everything. Yeah. And what I'm guessing too is it also staging appropriate to the home price, the area? For instance, is it different staging a home that's $500,000 or $600,000 versus a home that's $3 or $4 million? I mean, it's a different. Just all depends, huh? No, in my opinion, I think you need to put your best foot forward and stage it regardless, and because you're really showing off the lifestyle and showing off the home itself. And so, to get the most attention and attract the most buyers, you've got to make it look good. It's like dressing up for a date. It doesn't matter if you're going to McDonald's First impression, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can, dress it up nice. No, that makes sense. So either way, it doesn't really matter. What you want to do is stage it appropriately, and not so much based on the price or the location. Just make sure that it fits ideally to what that customer's needs in that market for that real estate. We got to take a break in a minute or so. But for something like this, typically when you meet with a client, how long does something like that take from the time someone says, yeah, gosh, it's a good idea, I really would need to stage my home? And it probably depends on a lot of stuff, right? How much staging, the extent of it. How long does that typically take? Absolutely. I've heard it varies from 2 to 4 weeks. I've had a client contact me, and they said, they've heard 3 to 4 weeks for them to get a stager in, and what we're going to talk about next is really just finding another solution to that. But stagers, sometimes they're backed up. They have a lead time, and you can't always get them when you need them. And so I've seen other agents looking for a staging company, but it does take time. Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about home staging alternatives. If you have any questions or comments, 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be back with you to continue in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchaira.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. We're with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Today we have our guests in studio. Rosie and Catrina are here talking about real estate and staging. And the topic today we're going to focus on now is home staging alternatives. And if you have any questions about that, now is a great time to call 1-800-516-1220. Or you could also text questions in at 408-838-9060. We talked about the timelines before we left the first segment. So alternatives, what kind of alternatives? Kind of give us an idea of what that means when you say alternatives to staging. Sure. Well, we can't find a stager, so with the timeline being at 2 to 4 weeks out, sometimes home sellers are kind of in a dilemma because they can't get their home on the market when they want to. So that can be a little bit difficult. So what I've come up with is another solution, and basically it's just using our local community. I contacted an interior designer, Catrina,
and a furniture redesigner. She does furniture restoration and makes it nice. And then also an artist, so a painter who has her own studio. And I contacted all three of these ladies, and I said, let's get together. I've got a home that I need to stage. We met at the house, toured it, looked around, gave them my vision of what the home should look like when we stage it, and then we went to work. And Catrina was a big part of that, and coming up with the product for that, the accessories, and so that's really exciting. It's basically, again, just finding the other resources other than a home stager when they're not available.
Got it. So all the different alternatives, again, these are, I don't want to say it, a lot on the show we talk about having a professional team, and this just kind of goes along those same lines when you're talking about having someone like Catrina, painters. I started thinking, anything in preparing a home, how do you manage that when, markets are busy, markets are slow, things pick up, and then, not everybody's available at the same time. That's got to be quite a bit to manage and make sure you have the right people working with you on each home, isn't it?
Definitely, and that was the key, though. Is I had reached out to everybody and said, are you going to be available to do this? Because we have to find a solution in real estate. It's all about finding a solution for our clients, right? Figuring out ways, trying to make it all work. And so it just so happened to the lady that's the redesigner. She has her business is called Loft to Paint, and she's on Facebook. She doesn't have a website yet, but if you look at Loft to Paint, you can see her amazing designs. She takes antique furniture, redoes them, repaints them, and she did this design in the furniture pieces came out in champagne and silver color, and they came out just stunning and gorgeous and very luxurious. So again, it worked out. She had perfect timing. The artist, she has her own studio in her home, so we were just able to take pictures off the wall and bring them over to the new home that we're staging. And then Catrina helped us with getting accessories and setting it all up. So we definitely had to have everybody in the right time frame to make it all work. But I was always there, always present to make sure that I could be there when the pictures came in. And so it's all about managing it and timing it, and that's what we as real estate agents do.
How do you manage the inventory with staging? As we're having this conversation, I'm thinking, different houses, different furniture, different accessories. Do you have some on hand on a regular basis, and some you have to borrow, or some you have to buy sometimes, or is that kind of the way that works? Absolutely.
I have accessories at another home. I'm going to go get pretty soon, but which I could use at another place. And then I've got furniture everywhere, accessories everywhere. But you do have to time it. I have a place to keep inventory, is what stagers also have as well, as a storage for their inventory. And you have to rotate, and sometimes you have to just go buy more. Which is fun. That's the exciting part. When you're shopping,
investing back into your business. You're making money off your business. You're reinvesting back into it. So what I like to do is have an inventory on hand, have a spreadsheet so you know what you have, and have an idea of where things are. And then, when I'm putting things in a client's house, have some way of notating. A sticker system works well, so that they know when they're packing up their house, they can remember. They usually know, but they can remember what goes back and what stays. As far as buying new things, I think that as a stager, to run a successful business, the idea is to make money. So you want to be able to reuse your inventory. But when it comes to staging a client's house, you have to make it work for that house. And if that means going out and buying one or two more items or a different table or lamp that you didn't already have in your inventory, I just look at it as a fun way to switch things up for my clients in the future. And then, of course, since I also have a house that I have to decorate, sometimes I like to switch things out there too.
Go.
And I'll pull something from my house for the client's house and then stick something new in there. It's really fun to constantly be moving things around that way.
We have to take a break in a little less than a minute. But so speaking of that, what is the cost, or what are the prices associated with it? Does it depend on home to home? Does the customer pay? Does the homeowner pay for that? The real estate agent? How does that work? Or is it just, again, each and every one is different?
Each and every one is different. It all varies. In some cases, I do offer staging as part of my services, but again, it varies. Depends on the client already has in the home, and depends on what I might need to go buy.
Good point.
There's so much more that's involved, and even the standard home stager has this breakdown as well. Are they doing a partial stage? Are they doing a full house furniture stage? So prices vary also per square foot of the home as
Good
well.
point.
So you have to just get a quote.
Makes sense. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we are going to change topics a little bit, switch gears, and we're going to talk about South County, what's going on over there in Morgan Hill and Gilroy, and we have the expert here to tell us about it. 1-800-516-1220. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchaira.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. I'm joined in studio today by Rosie, Poliquin, and also Catrina Palmer. We're talking about alternatives to staging and how important staging is and some of the things you could do. And before we move on to the South Counties, I think you wanted to remind us of something you forgot to tell us the last segment, right, Rosie?
Yes, absolutely. So I just wanted to let people know that renting paintings, custom paintings, is very, very affordable. So as part of the staging solution, that's one of the ways you can do that. So we rented our paintings from Marianne of Marie Studios, Marianne Eichenbaum. So you can find her on mariestudios.com, and she's very talented and an amazing artist.
That's cool to know that someone like that, you could specifically get paintings to rent for staging. That's neat.
And the nice thing is that when you're selling a home with all this, the furniture's for sale, the paintings are for sale.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So now you can, exactly. It's like walking into a furniture studio, yes. So if you don't buy the house, you can buy the furniture.
Very good, very good. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what's going on in South County. And so you want to give us kind of an overview and the numbers and what's happening in the Morgan Hill and Gilroy area?
Definitely. So these numbers are from June through August of this year, so basically over the summer. So for Morgan Hill, we've had the number of homes sold is 93 with an average days on market of 31. Okay. And then the median price is $850. Now, last time we had a conversation about how the market is, and I said it's pretty much going to be stable, and the median price is pretty much kind of staying the same, that price level right there. So for Gilroy, the number of homes sold over the summer was 103 with 37 days on market. So people are really trying to get into their home before the fall. And then the median price is $670,000. That's about $70,000 higher than last year. So still prices are really good for home sellers. San Martin, we had sold 5 homes with 78 days on market. Again, a lot of these are custom homes, large homes out there with big lots, so they'll take a little bit longer to sell. Yeah,
that's I think it's a good thing to point out, because if people aren't familiar with San Martin, a lot of them, they're the bigger homes with lots and some even with vineyards and things like that. They're a little more unique than the typical home that you might see, right?
Yes, vineyards and horse property. Right. And so, but the median price out there is at $797, a little bit lower than last quarter, but still a good range. The number of available homes for sale right now in Morgan Hill, we have 110 with 90 in contract right now. So that's a lot of activity. Yeah. And the median price in Morgan Hill right now is at $1,087,000. So prices still lower than San Jose, And
no, but that's still remarkable to see, to break that $1 million barrier, isn't it? I mean, that must be interesting when you look at that $1 million barrier. Unfortunately, we've been jaded here in the Silicon Valley, and every once in a while you just have to rein it back a little bit and realize that it's a lot of money. $1 million to buy a house.
That is a lot of money. Well, and it's, I mean, you know, and prices, even Gilroy prices are going up.
Yeah.
Because a while back we were talking about, you know, $600,000 for Gilroy. Right now for Gilroy, available homes, we have 102. 94 are in contract, and the median price there is about $780,000. In San Martin, we have 10 homes available, and the median price there is about $1.6 million. So that's appropriate.
That's very good
for that area. And so the market today, you know, again, we're starting to head into the fall slowdown. But I tell people, you know, don't let that stop you from making your real estate dreams a reality. So let the lifestyle move you.
Yeah, there you go. So before we take our next break, Rosie, would you say that similar to the Bay Area, that the South County is also might be experiencing a kind of a flattening or a stabilization, or do you see a little more growth there continuing versus, I know we're seeing a little bit of a stable market instead of this craziness we were having?
There's still some growth. It is stable, again, because it's the fall time and people are starting to get settled in.
Yeah.
Kids are back in school, so there's not as much activity. But again, prices are still very affordable, great communities out there in South County. So we're still seeing a lot of people come from San Jose and that area, Silicon Valley, come and move out there to South County. So
And one of the big draws, too, has been, I think it always has been, we've talked about, is that you could still get a lot more for your money, right? That's the idea. If you want a little bit of land, you want to feel like you're half an hour away or 40 minutes away, completely getting away amongst the hills, some different things. It's a whole different feel.
It's absolutely a whole different feel. I mean, it's actually a lot calmer of a lifestyle because everything is so close. A smaller town, Morgan Hill and Gilroy and San Martin, they're so small that you don't have to drive far. You're not in a lot of traffic when you're going shopping, or you don't have to wait in a lot of lines to get what you need. So
you could guarantee that people will be much calmer if they move south. You heard it.
Well, I hope they're calmer anyway.
All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to finish up about Morgan Hill, Gilroy. If you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchaira.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Joe Cucchaira with the Real Estate Radio Live. We are joined today in the studio by two guests we have here today. Rosie Poliquin, she is a broker associate at Intero Real Estate Services, and also Catrina Palmer, interior designer. Talking about alternatives to staging, and then the last segment, Rosie gave us an update on the South County markets, Morgan Hill, Gilroy, which continue to grow, and more opportunity all over a different place. And, you know, there's not, before we talk about some of the events coming up and some of the things that are going on down in South County, Rosie, there's not, Gilroy, I know, has a lot more space, right? I mean, we've talked about this before in terms of growth, like, you know, planning, building, all that. Morgan Hill does, in comparisons to our area, there's not much, but there's a bit of a moratorium still in Morgan Hill, isn't there? I mean, you can't just go crazy over there. I think there's some. Tell us a little bit about what the expectations are maybe on new construction in both those areas, Morgan Hill and Gilroy.
I think, in Morgan Hill, you certainly have smaller places that are little pocket areas where the new home builder will come in and buy a smaller lot and then put maybe 10 houses on, or townhome community into that section. Whereas Gilroy really has, there's the Glen Loma project, which is enormous space of land where there's about, I want to say 4 or 5 new home builders in there. They're building their communities. So, yes, as far as Morgan Hill goes, there's not a lot of new construction. There is some And then Morgan Hill, Gilroy has a lot more.
Yeah.
But as far as people wanting to come down to the area, and maybe they're thinking about moving from San Jose, Mountain View area, these builders are great, builders, and prices are definitely are doing well or competitive compared to the resale market. So there's a lot of options. And then also there's custom lots too in Morgan Hill and in San Martin and in Gilroy. So if somebody wants to buy land and then build their home, they can do that as well. So still a lot of good land available.
Very good. And, with all the new building, also some of the benefits that come along with that, not all the time, but most of the time because they have to, is new schools, new parks, right? A lot of those different things come about. So there was some beautiful new schools, if I'm not mistaken, in both Morgan Hill and Gilroy the last couple of years, or maybe 5 to 6 years, that have come about to meet the capacity of the growth. Are there more of those to come?
In Gilroy, there is more to come. I'd have to double check on Morgan Hill, but definitely that's the plan because when the cities plan their communities, they're doing this on a 20 to 40 year plan. Right. So they have to look at that and what's going to happen and what services they're going to need to provide for in those times. So once the developer starts developing the land, they're already working on what's the next step,
Good point. All right, well, let's talk about some of the fun stuff that's going on. If you could give us kind of an update on some of the South County events that are up and coming.
Sure. Well, on September 17th, Morgan Hill is having a brew crawl. And this is featuring 18 breweries. Okay. So you're taking a self-guided tour throughout downtown Morgan Hill and just beer tasting, which sounds kind of nice right now.
Breweries down?
I think they're just a little bit, they're kind of all over. So they're bringing them in.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
so you're going to do the beer crawl and taste all the different.
Okay.
Yeah. And then September 24th and 25th is Taste of Morgan Hill weekend. It's a family-friendly festival featuring local wineries. So local, you'll get to taste the taste of Morgan Hill, and craft beer as well. And it's also featuring custom and classic car show with vendors and a kids activity zone. On September 30th to October 2nd, Friday through Sunday, we have the Santa Clara Valley Wine Trail, which is 25 participating wineries, and you get to go through wine tasting, basically, in Gilroy, Morgan Hill, and San Martin. So that weekend is Passport Weekend. Get your ticket and just have fun.
Yeah, that's
enjoying
nice.
the wines locally, and that's the nice thing about that Santa Clara Valley wine. And then on October 15th, I'm really excited. There is a special movie screening in Redwood City's at Redwood City's Fox Theater, and it's featuring The Biggest Game in Town. It's a small indie movie featured. It's produced actually by Gilroy's own 152 West production company.
Wow,
so it's very exciting. And it was filmed on the weekends over a 2.5-year period. So it was really a low budget movie, but it's featuring a lot of local actors, definitely a shoestring budget, shot on location in Gilroy, Morgan Hill, Hollister, and Monterey County. They did a huge premiere in Monterey, which had over 1,000 people attend. And this, on Saturday the 15th, it's going to be a movie screening. So I'm really excited to let people know that South County is an exciting place to live, and so much so that now they're filming movies there. Yeah,
that's neat. And then, so for more information, where would you go to find out more about the movie or see where it's playing? And
absolutely. Go to thebiggestgameintown.com, www.thebiggestgameintown.com for that.
All right. Very good. Well, we're going to take our last break. When we come back, we are going to finish up. If you have any questions for either one of the ladies here, 1-800-516-1220, or you could text 408-838-9060.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchaira.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we wind down the show. Just a couple minutes left. We're talking about alternatives to staging, and then also recently a little update and background what's going on in South County, Morgan Hill and Gilroy, and Rosie was telling us about a film that's going to be featuring, I guess, on the 15th, right, October 15th, special screening in Redwood City's Fox Theater. But why don't you share with us a little bit about the concept or what the movie's about?
Well, when I was reading about this, I was really excited to learn that the main character in the movie is searching for a legendary card game so that he could win big to buy a house for his wife.
Oh, my gosh.
It's all tied to real estate.
It's all tied to real estate, sure. That's good. Very good. Well, as we wrap up, just before we have a minute or so left, I guess if you guys could just kind of explain to, again, the listeners how important staging is and, you know, preparing the home, getting it ready to sell. And let's say it's always been important, but maybe talk briefly, Rosie, and then you could talk about it, Catrina, too, is right now the market's changing, right? I mean, so it's always important to prepare your house to sell a home. But let's face it, the last couple of years, once you put the home on the market, it was moving pretty quick. So you may need to put a little bit more time and energy and really, really make sure you're taking advantage of everything you can to sell the home now, right?
Absolutely. It's all about marketing,
right,
you know, and getting people to see getting buyers to see the property. And especially as we head into the slowdown of the season, you really want to make your home as attractive as possible. I know I keep saying that, but it really is important to get more people to see it so that you have a higher chance of getting the right offer.
Right. Okay. And before we go to you guys, if you could give us information about where to reach you, Rosie, on the real estate side, South County, anybody that wants that, email, phone number, website, and then Catrina, if you could do the same as well, it'd be great.
Well, everybody can reach me on my cell phone, 408-607-9340. You can email me at rosie@rosiepoliquin.com, and also contact me through my website, which is rosiepoliquin.com.
And you have the blog, too, right?
I have a blog called The South County Lifestyle, thank you, and a community page also called South County Lifestyle. It's a Facebook community page called South County Lifestyle.
And people could find out about what's going on in South County, and some of the stuff that you talked about, that could be accessed on your website.
It's on the blog, so I would go there on the blog, and then the Facebook pages.
Very good. All right. Katrina?
Well, you can contact me at my cell phone. The phone number is 408-771-4692, and you can certainly email me. My email address is catcpalmer@gmail.com. And if you just need some help and you're do-it-yourselfer, you can call me, or if you're looking for a full-blown stager, you can call me for that as well. Yeah,
so the idea is that everybody has different needs, different level of needs. So if someone's just trying to get an idea, hey, what do you think, Catrina? And, you know, can you give me some ideas? Versus, oh, my God, I don't even know where to start.
Exactly. I can come in, walk around your house with you, take a look around, see if I can give you some ideas of things that you can do to yourself if you need to keep the cost down of staging, and in which case you can just hire me as a consultant on an hourly basis if you have the time and ability to do it yourself. Very good. All right. Ladies, thank you both for your time today. Very informational, and it's always good stuff. Good to have you back, Rosie. Thank you. Catrina, thanks. Good information. Thank you for having me. This is Joe Cucchaira with Real Estate Radio Live. We're going to duck out here in just a couple seconds, and be sure to tune in Monday through Friday from 3 to 4, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Take care. You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.